Hello and welcome to the podcast that asks the question, what can the kids watch? Charlton Heston's bare arse, apparently.
What, in Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
1968?
Yes. Lots of that.
He looked like leather. He looked really sunburnt. I actually was like, oh, you need to put a bit of Factor 50 on there. That looks sore.
Anyway.
Yes.
Planet of the Apes.
Yes. It's really good.
I mean, it is, yeah. So, Planet of the Apes is it's one of those films where I think everybody knows, not everybody, but most folk know the twist ending.
I would say they do.
But I would wager nowadays, the further you get away from when the film was made, I think more people are learning that twist through other media.
Yeah, parodies, and didn't The Simpsons do it?
Absolutely, yeah. They Troy McClure is in Planet of the Apes, the musical. And there is Spaceballs, of course. Spaceballs has a reference to it as well. And it's just, I didn't want the kids to experience what I feel is one of cinema's best twists in other media. I wanted them watching the film early enough that we could get them with it.
So they could see it firsthand.
Yes, because it's not just when you do watch it, like I think you've said before, that it's like if you're paying attention, you can absolutely work out what the ending of this film is going to be.
Well, Rod Serling was involved, wasn't he?
Yes.
With rewriting the novel, well, the screenplay on which the novel is.
Yeah, Pierre Boulle's novel, which I can't tell you the French title exactly, but it translates basically as Monkey Planet. But, although they're not fucking monkeys, they're apes.
No, but with the Twilight Zone, there was two very similar episodes.
There are two episodes, yes, that are blatantly like inspirations for elements of Planet of the Apes.
And that's People Are Alike All Over, and I think the other one is...
And Roddy McDowall's in that one, isn't he?
Yes, he is, yeah. So
and the other one is I Shot an Arrow into the Air. And they're both in season 1. So that's late 50s into 60s. And both those stories are great. I Shot an Arrow into the Air is the stronger of the two. But it's also, I feel, the most relevant to Planet of the Apes' ending. Whereas the People Are Alike All Over is more the idea of a human zoo element.
Yeah.
So, so Rod Serling had those elements, but he was not the only screenwriter. He'd written like 30 odd drafts of this fucking thing, and then another guy called
Michael Wilson.
Yes, Michael Wilson had to come in and basically tidy up,
like a script doctor.
Yeah, but I assume Rod Serling was probably burnt out on it if he's written that many, and then obviously they've grabbed the ending from one of his many. I don't know how many of his 30-odd scripts had that ending, but I bet he kept swapping it out and changing it round.
Well, there is an alternative ending.
Yes.
Did they film it?
Yes, I believe they did.
Can we talk about it or not?
Yeah, we can, because it's not in the film in the slightest.
So Taylor, which is Charlton Heston's character, supposedly gets Nova pregnant.
Nova is... What do we call them? The simpleton humans.
Just humans?
Yeah, but they're like Neanderthals, aren't they?
Yeah. Local humans?
Locals, all right, yeah. Yes. The future humans.
Future humans. And the studio didn't like that because Taylor died and she was left to carry on. The
issue is, I guess, that it presents a lot of fucking questions. And I guess they weren't intending for this to be a franchise to begin with. Maybe from the outset, if they'd gone, you're going to make like another 4 more of these, they might have kept that concept. To be fair, you can have both.
Well, he could have rode off into the sunset.
And found the Statue of Liberty.
And she could be pregnant. So
I'm just saying it because, I mean, like I say, if anyone's listening to this, and you shouldn't let your children listen to this. I hope regular listeners have come to that conclusion now.
Because of your F-bombs.
Well, I say cunt as well. Yes. But and I've talked about Charlton Heston's arse. But it's you need to folk will know this. So we have a really nice Blu-ray box set, which the front cover is just a very dominating shot of one of the ape faces.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's one in particular. Maybe it's Roddy McDowall's ape. I don't know, but it's a very dominant looking ape face. But my DVD box set that I used to have before I upscaled to the Blu-ray box set, just flat out on the front cover, it's the beach, it's the Statue of Liberty, it's Taylor banging his fist into the sand.
Yeah, so giving away the ending.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
Like one of the biggest twists in cinema history.
Yeah, arguably do you know what? I was going to call it their jewel in the crown, but this fucking film is a fucking jewel in anyone's crown in its entirety. The fucking makeup is outstanding.
It is. But let's go back. So, what happens in the film? How does it start?
So, Taylor and a crew of two other men and one woman are on a space mission. And it's a little vague, but he's definitely disenchanted and doesn't want to be living on the Earth anymore because he thinks they're all arseholes and politicians and people. He's so tuned in to how humanity is going to destroy itself.
Yeah.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yay, I said something that you couldn't. Woo! Wasn't it the Vietnam War? Wasn't that going on at the time?
Yes,
around this was made. And it's a social commentary.
It is, commentary. And then they go into hibernation, sleep. They sleep too long. The ship crashes on what they think is a distant planet, but it turns out they've just gone back to Earth, and humans have become simpletons and don't speak, and apes have become the rulers. Yeah,
so that's the ending. No, but to get there, so as you mentioned before, there's lots of glorious things about this film, which is the makeup. And
by John Chambers.
Yes, and he did prosthetics for World War II veterans, people who'd been injured in World War II. So he was able to create things that other people would not be able to.
Yeah, and his work is superb. Absolutely superb. I just want to point out, I'm a big fan of this franchise. Both these ones and the new ones where it's all like motion capture and Andy Serkis and all that sort of thing. I think that's incredible as well. But it's different. It's a different kind of incredible. One doesn't make the other look bad. It's just they're made in different eras. But we're not talking about the new ones. We're talking about this one by just wanting to make clear that when I'm so enthusiastic about this makeup that I love, I'm not sat watching the new ones going, I don't like any of this because it's not makeup. I love it all. I just love the Planet of the Apes and everything it's got to give me.
See, I prefer the makeup.
Yeah.
But that's just me because I like practical effects.
I know. But a lot of hard work actually goes into doing the motion capture, and Andy Serkis needs fucking recognition for that. And maybe one day we'll talk about those new films.
Okay.
But the makeup on this is incredible, but it's not just the makeup, is it? It's the actors underneath it. It's Roddy McDowall, and it's Kim Hunter and Maurice Evans, and doing exaggerated facial performances, and when they're not actually speaking, doing little twitches and moving their mouth and all of the twitching and everything to keep the makeup looking alive.
Apparently it was really hard to have the makeup done, so much so that Kim Hunter, who played Zira,
yes,
she had to take a Valium before she would let them touch her.
How long does a Valium last,
I don't know.
Because if it takes
it's a good few hours in that.
3 or 4 hours, I suppose, is what it takes. And then I'd be concerned that once the makeup's done, is she in a state
that she can act?
Because it's a fucking great performance. She's wonderful.
But then also had to eat their lunch through straws. And
yes, and if any of them smoked, which a lot of folk did back then, they had cigarette holders, so the cigarette was not anywhere near the actual face.
But they look classy.
They do look like classy apes. Do you know there's a comedian now who dresses as Dr. Zaius in the full old-style makeup. He looks exactly like Maurice Evans' Dr. Zaius, but he's in a suit, like a lounge comedian, and he does stand-up comedy, and it's called Hanging with Dr. Z.
No, I did not know that.
Well, it's fucking great. For anyone listening, check out Hanging with Dr. Z. It's very bizarre and very funny.
Is he as nasty as he is in the film?
No, he's a good comedian. He's not a piece of shit that he is in that film. So yeah, Dr. Zaius is the villain of this particular film, and I will say, Planet of the Apes, the franchise, does genuinely have some great villains, both human villains and ape villains. Throughout all of the films, old and new, it's always got a really good fucking catalogue of piece of shit villains. Like people that you want to proper sneer at, and that's great.
But that's what you want, isn't it?
I do want good sneerable villains. This film is very politically charged, and it's also very fucking dark in a grown-up fashion. Like, for example, the threat of being neutered and lobotomized is frequently thrown at Taylor, and one of the crewmen does actually get lobotomized, and that scene is
it Landon?
Landon gets lobotomized, and then what's he called? Hang on, Dodge gets fucking killed and stuffed and put in a museum.
Yeah, it's that is
fuck off. That's horrible.
So it's animal cruelty as well, because the humans are animals in this case.
Yes.
And well, you have animal testing and things like that. So it's basically just horrible. It's basically just holding up a mirror to what humans do to animals. It's
an upside, because Taylor calls it an upside down civilization.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Zaius is like, "You're right to call it upside down, as you live in the lowest run of it." I like Dr. Zaius. I know I've said he's an arsehole and he's a piece of shit, but what a good performance.
Isn't he the religious leader as well? Or is that a different orangutan?
Oh, do you mean the statue?
No, I mean there's a guy giving... No, there's not a guy. There's an orangutan giving some sort of
I see.
sermon.
No.
Is it a different one?
No, he is a different one.
Okay.
He doesn't really get a proper close-up. You do see, because when the trial happens towards the end and you get 3 different orangutans, they do have... There are differences to them. They all look the same in that they're all the same species of ape, but there are... You can see which one is meant to be which. I
do like it when they do the speak, hear and see no evil, the 3 of them.
Yes, hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil.
Yeah.
Yes, and they're on a row. Yeah, that's a nice little joke.
Yeah, I'm glad they kept that in.
Yeah, it's fun.
So what about, with this one, it's a classic. What do you think of the Tim Burton one?
See, the Tim Burton one's an absolute mess, but it looks brilliant. And the makeup, which I think is Rick Baker, the makeup is fucking superb in the Tim Burton one. But it's such a messy film, and I suppose the problem is that they're not doing a new story. They're just trying to do the same Planet of the Apes movie. And quite frankly, they already got that right. So... any other idea can only ever be just not as good.
Reinventing the wheel.
Yeah, it's like, well, they've already done it. Like, so when the new ones came with Anti-Circus and they did Rise of the Planet of the Apes, completely different story. Completely different take on it. They're not beholden to this 1968 film, and they don't have to go through those beats again.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Whereas, like I said, the Tim Burton one... literally has to constantly try and redo what's already exists, and
so
I think
all
that's
the
a bad
characters
idea.
are the same characters in...
Just about, yeah. I mean, Dr. Zaius isn't really in it. It's more like Tim Burton makes Tim Roth's character, who is a chimp, and he makes him like because Tim Burton's afraid of chimps, apparently.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, so he was like, oh, well, I'll make the main villainous ape a war-hungry chimp. And it's like, it doesn't have the element in the original where it's like the chimps are the scientists the orangutans are the philosophers and the leaders, and the gorillas are the war, the labourers and the war-hungry ones.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Tim Burton just tried to do the best he could, and I don't think Mark Wahlberg's a good choice because he looks like a chimp. So, if you're gonna... you want your human...
To look more human.
To be as human as possible. And to be fair, as Mark Wahlberg gets older, he's looking less and less like a chimp. But back then, I don't know if it's just that thing where he's surrounded by people in ape makeup and he's just constantly seems to look like he's mimicking. Oh, I also don't like that the humans can talk.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems...
So does he land with the same people on...
No, he lands by himself.
Okay. So
have you not seen it?
I saw it a long, long time ago, and the only thing that I remember was I had my sister in the car, and one of us actually opened the door onto a bollard. So that overtook everything that happened in maybe the 3 hours afterwards.
Yeah, I can see how that would...
I know that Helena Bonham Carter is in it.
Yes.
Is she Zira?
She might... in all honesty, I can't remember if she's called Azira, but she's, for all intents and purposes,
that kind of character. Yeah.
So, a chimp that is sympathetic to our hero.
Okay.
I do think Helena Bonham Carter is really, really good in that film. I also think Michael Clarke Duncan is really good. He's like, obviously, because he was massive, he's obviously a great big gorilla.
Yeah.
He also gets the line... "Take your hands off me, you dirty stinking human," is what he says.
So that's a nod.
Oh, and Charlton Heston plays Tim Roth's character's dad.
Oh, really?
And he has a bit, he's bedridden, and he has a bit where he goes, damn them all to hell. And I was sat in the cinema going, God, it's kind of cheesy, but I'm really fucking glad that's in there. What a good laugh that is. And you can tell, even under all the ape makeup, it's like, oh, that's undeniably Charlton Heston because of his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, winding back, let's go back to the 1968 version.
Yes, because the kids haven't seen that Tim Burton one.
No. So, can the kids watch it?
Yeah, but it's very politically charged.
Mm-hmm.
And... obviously, it makes a lot of statements, and I mean, our kids really enjoyed it, but...
Do you think they got it, though?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do think they got it. And I remember at the end, we were like, well, what does that mean? If that's the Statue of Liberty, what does that mean? And then they were like, it's Earth! And I was like, yes! So, yeah, they did get it. But for a big chunk of this film, it's kind of a courtroom drama.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, a big portion of that folk in that courtroom are just apes. And it's like, oh, well, that's instantly interesting. That's more interesting than, say, just a normal courtroom drama. The apes! Look at the apes!
Yeah. But then it's interesting seeing the argument of science versus religion.
Oh, it does question a lot of religion, and yeah, but I mean, but
that could be applied to any religion.
Yeah, but it should be. Yeah, I mean, is Planet of the Apes the film that will turn young folk revolutionary?
Maybe it already did.
Maybe it already did. But I feel, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a big fan of that franchise, but I feel ultimately they're very important films. I think that although I will say some modern audiences have really not appreciated them. They don't like the race relations comparisons because they flat out just say, these films are just racist. These films are racist because you know there's obviously the issue with black people do get referred to as like monkeys and whatnot. And it's like I don't think that element's there. I don't think there's any reason to be outraged. This is a political story for good.
Yeah.
And I think if you're so sensitive you're going to turn on this, that it's like, well, you can't be helped. Stop watching films because it's not. You're just going to tear yourself apart. And I think I don't want. It's hard to. It's not my place. I'm a white man. I can't sit here and suggest what a black person should take from this. Although I will say Sammy Davis Jr., for example, thought it was the most powerful film ever made about what it is about race relations. So it just depends what kind of person you are and maybe how politically charged and how many things you see or want to see in films that are there, aren't there. I don't know. All I can tell you is I love this film and I appreciate what it does to make you want to question your political leaders, your religious leaders, your place in society. I think it's a genuinely important film.
And how you view others.
Of course.
And how you treat others.
And how you treat animals.
So you've got the ending of them riding off, the hero and his partner. But ultimately, it is a hopeless ending.
Yes.
It's not... Yeah, what do you do with that?
Is that not important, though?
I feel like it is.
It's important to... Everyone needs to know if you're going to try and change the world, chances are you may absolutely fail, but perhaps what you do might inspire the next generation. But having said that, there's not much of that in Planet of the Apes based on what happens. And then in the one that follows, it's like somebody... So the next one is Beneath the Planet of the Apes, and it's as if someone went, do you know what? I don't think the first one was bleak enough. I reckon some shit needs to really hit the fan. And as we're making a film about apes and they love to fling shit, this is the one to go for. That fucking second one is downbeat.
Are we going to watch that?
Yeah, we might not talk about it on the podcast, but or maybe we will. Actually, we'll see. We'll see what their fucking reaction is.
Will they need therapy afterwards?
Yeah, maybe they won't get it, and they'll be like, "Hang on, you said there was more of these?" And I'm like, "Yeah, there are." How? It's like, well, we'll put another one on then, and I'll show you. Yes,
yeah. I think kids should see it.
Yeah, and the marketing was very much like parents will get it's all the politics and all that sort of things for the parents. The fantasy world of like this ape community is for the kids.
Didn't they bring out some toys as well?
Yeah, a lot of people talk about Star Wars and its massive merchandising, but fucking Planet of the Apes toys, and not just toys, fucking lunchboxes, posters, pajamas, bedding.
Yeah. So led the way for Star Wars.
It was a marketing... I imagine... I'm not sure if George Lucas... I'm not sure I've ever heard him speak. I mean, I've heard him talk about the merchandising, obviously, but I'm not sure I ever heard him talk about Planet of the Apes' merchandising as a possible, like... Oh, that's possible. They did it. I can do it. And Planet of the Apes, like Star Wars, is also 20th Century Fox.
And sci-fi.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad that Fox would let George Lucas have the distribution... Not the distribution rights, sorry. The merchandising rights. Because surely they must have learned nothing, I guess, from Planet of the Apes.
I think they just wanted bums in seats.
Yeah, they did.
So, yeah.
But yeah, you could buy all kinds of stuff. Those comics as well. And you know what? There's not just films. There's 2 TV shows. There's a cartoon TV series, which is okay. You know how this so in the book, it's a more civilized society. The ape, like they have helicopters and cars and stuff. That's what the cartoon is more like.
Right, okay.
And then there's a live action TV series, which is not necessary. It's hard to say whether it's linked to the films or not. And Roddy McDowall is in it as a different ape. So he's not playing Cornelius. He's playing a Galen, I think is his character, and it's two guys running around the Planet of the Apes trying to get home.
Okay.
And they're very likeable.
I definitely haven't seen that.
You might have done, though.
I don't think I did.
I don't know, it was on a lot. I saw it as a kid, that TV show, and I saw the cartoon as a kid as well, actually. But, no, well, maybe you didn't. But I feel like the production value of the series is as good as some of the later films. So you would be... if you just switched on, you'd actually be mistaken in thinking, oh, this is one of the Planet of the Apes movies. And it's actually the TV series. We do have the series.
Is this what we're going to binge when it's cold and wet outside?
Maybe, but I don't have the animated one. But I wouldn't bother myself so much with that.
Might be on YouTube.
It might be, but yeah, big fan of this franchise. I'm glad we finally covered it, and I'm glad we got that ending in front of the kids before it was spoiled for them.
Yeah,
I think that is important, and that's why we have watched Planet of the Apes
from 1968.
And I'm just going to say it. The guy, Landon, looked a lot like Sean Connery.
He did! What was that all about?
I think it's just coincidence. But yeah, looked a lot like a beardy Sean Connery.
Yeah.
That's the last I'll say on that.
Okay then, fair enough. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.